Born March 11, 1931, in Melbourne, Australia, Keith Rupert Murdoch was not destined for obscurity. The son of Sir Keith Murdoch, a prominent Australian journalist and war correspondent, Rupert was raised in the world of publishing and political influence. But unlike his father, whose legacy was shaped by traditional journalism, Murdoch's ambition burned with a darker fire. From the moment he inherited Adelaide's The News at the age of 21, following his father's death in 1952, Rupert Murdoch demonstrated that he was not interested in mere editorial oversight. He wanted an empire. And over the course of the next 7 decades, he built one. Murdoch's first expansions were calculated and aggressive. From Adelaide, he reached into Sydney and then New Zealand. But it was his arrival in the United Kingdom that marked the true beginning of his global dominance. In 1969, he bought News of the World, and shortly after, The Sun. The latter became his blueprint, a working-class tabloid built on sex, scandal, sport, and nationalism. It was more than a paper. It was a weapon. By 1979, the same year Margaret Thatcher came to power, Murdoch had entrenched himself within British life. The 1980s would define both of them. The Iron Lady had the political muscle. Murdoch had the media megaphone. The alliance they forged, though never officially declared, was pivotal in dismantling the power of trade unions, beginning with the infamous Wapping dispute of 1986. Murdoch moved the Times and the Sun to a new printing facility in Wapping, hiring a new workforce and breaking the back of the printing unions. The strikes were long, bitter, and violent, but Murdoch held the line. It was his Spartan moment, unwavering, tactically superior, and utterly merciless. Murdoch didn't fight for justice, however. He fought for control. As the 1990s dawned, Murdoch turned his attention to the United States. He became a naturalized U.S. citizen in 1985, renouncing his Australian citizenship to comply with American laws prohibiting foreign ownership of TV stations. His ambitions culminated in the founding of Fox News in 1996. In tandem with Roger Ailes, Murdoch created a 24-hour news network that revolutionized and arguably ruined American media. Fox was no longer a news outlet in the traditional sense. It was a partisan fortress. Under Murdoch, Fox built a nation of culture warriors, weaponizing patriotism, stoking racial and political division, and rewriting facts to serve its agenda. This media insurgency was aided by the Telecommunications Act of 1996, passed during Bill Clinton's presidency. This act deregulated media ownership rules, allowing conglomerates to buy and control vast swaths of TV, radio, and print outlets. Murdoch was its greatest beneficiary. What followed was a consolidation of media power, the likes of which the democratic world had never seen. Murdoch's role in shaping world events cannot be overstated. In Britain, he was the kingmaker. Most notoriously, in 1992, The Sun ran the infamous headline, "If Kinnock wins today, will the last person to leave Britain please turn out the lights?" Labour lost. But just 5 years later, Murdoch switched sides. Tony Blair's New Labour had abandoned its socialist roots in favor of Thatcherite economic policies wrapped in progressive rhetoric. Blair flew to Australia in 1995 to personally woo Murdoch. By the 1997 general election, The Sun backed Blair. Labour won in a landslide. In return, Blair avoided media regulation and pursued foreign policy in lockstep with American neoconservatives, particularly during the Iraq War. A war The Sun and Fox News vocally supported. Murdoch's fingerprints are all over the post-9/11 landscape, from the fervent nationalism and Islamophobia in headlines to support for the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq and the platforming of neocon pundits who championed regime change under the guise of democracy promotion. He helped manufacture consent for wars that cost hundreds of thousands of lives and destabilized entire regions. His power was not limited to politics. In the realm of sport, he forever changed the culture of football. In 1992, Murdoch's BSkyB secured exclusive broadcast rights to the newly formed English Premier League. What had once been a working-class weekend ritual became a pay-per-view product. Loyal fans who had followed their clubs for generations were priced out. Community was replaced by commodification. Passion became profit. Murdoch didn't care. Football was not a sport to him. It was a pipeline of subscription fees. Like a Spartan general, Murdoch operated with strategic brilliance and pitiless precision. He crushed rivals, silenced dissenters, and bent governments to his will. Leaders on both sides of the Atlantic groveled for his approval. From Thatcher to Blair, Bush to Trump, and countless others in between, politicians knew that to win power, they had to court Rupert Murdoch. Many did so willingly. But here lies the paradox. Murdoch possessed many attributes of the Spartan ideal: discipline, strategic acumen, and iron resolve. Yet he deployed these traits in service of empire, not ethics. His battlefield was not Thermopylae, but the boardroom. His weapons were not spears, but headlines, talking points, and broadcast rights. He molded societies not towards strength, but submission. He turned truth into a commodity, trust into a casualty. His empire made billions by dividing billions. Under Murdoch, media ceased to be the fourth estate. It became the first line of offense. Even in his later years, Murdoch showed little remorse. At the height of the phone hacking scandal in 2011, where journalists at News of the World were revealed to have hacked into the voicemails of celebrities, politicians, and even a murdered schoolgirl, Murdoch shut the paper down but denied culpability. The empire endured. Heads rolled, but never his. By the time he stepped down from Fox and News Corp leadership roles in 2023, handing power to his son Lachlan, Murdoch had already reshaped the global media landscape. The damage had been done. Truth had been fractured. Public trust in journalism, once a cornerstone of democracy, lay in ruins. Rupert Murdoch is not a tragic figure. He is not a misunderstood genius. He is the devil's Spartan, a man who took the virtues of strength, focus, and perseverance and warped them into tools of manipulation, division, and control. His legacy is not one of public service, but public degradation. Where Spartans once stood as protectors of their people, Murdoch stood as a profiteer over them. Where warriors gave their lives for their communities, Murdoch sold theirs to advertisers, political operatives, and propagandists. Order the Spartan Mindset today and embark on your journey toward becoming the leader your world needs. Let your struggles forge you into a warrior of character and resolve. The Spartan Mindset provides a comprehensive and actionable guide to personal development and resilience. Available now for just $19.99. Purchase your copy from the links in the description box below and on this channel's homepage, because your future begins with the right mindset, the Spartan Mindset.